Oh my dog. Dog. Oh my dog. Dog.
Oh my dog, hey!
Oh my duck, hello.
They're gonna overlap on your hit it there.
Hit it, girl.
Get it, get it, get it, get it. Well, we've been doing some stuff, but
It is
We
hot
took-
as hail.
it is hot.
My curls are coming out. I think I actually have naturally curly hair.
You do.
I tried that one time.
Well, it's because we came of age in the early 2000s, and so we straightened the hell out of our hair for so long. Our hair doesn't know what it wants or what it does, and then
It's really all my gray hair is just.
we're like half poodle, half Yorkie.
Oh my gosh. It's actually been a kind of slow 2 weeks
Yeah.
relative.
Yeah,
It
well,
hasn't felt that way.
no, it hasn't. It's been a lot of noise, but not a lot of intakes per se. Though we've had a good number of adoptions, actually. So, who have we had? Come on in. Let's see. Tell about Willa.
Oh,
That was a crazy. Do you remember who it is?
I remember who it is. Give me a second.
The girl
Yes,
in danger. Yeah.
the bat phone.
Yes, she was a bat phone call.
Oh man, did we talk about that bat phone? I don't
No,
think we
because
did.
I checked the date to make sure we weren't going to talk about this twice.
Oh
No,
my
this is since last
God.
time this happened.
Okay, so we talked about the bat phone last time, and I continue to use the calls as my daily source of humor, although sometimes they're not so humorous.
Which, by the way, I did have to Google to make sure I wasn't making up that there was a such thing as a bat phone, but there is. Like in the old Batman movies, there's a bat phone, which means it's like a really urgent matter, and it's literally a red phone that he picks up the handle and like answers to the commissioner.
Which
Yeah.
I told you, I want one of the. I know this exists. It has to a rotary phone.
Yep.
That is Bluetooth
Yep.
to your cell phone.
100%.
So you can pick, just so I can slam it down.
Yep. And we need to set it up so it only rings when it's the bat phone, because that's the only time I really want to slam the phone down. Make it
Oh
idiots.
my gosh. Anyway, I get this call from this gal. It was in the evening, and she says she's got this 9-year-old dog. It's a Catahoula mix, and as soon as I heard the word Catahoula, I was like,
PTSD. No.
no,
Yeah.
no. And we again spoke this into existence because we talked about April the day before.
The day before, we talked about that we had weirdly gotten 2 Catahoulas, and that's super strange because
Right.
we never see them.
And then here this gal comes into my inbox with a Catahoula, and I'm like,
Wasn't it
oh,
a
okay.
Catahoula Schnauzer?
Yeah, which,
What?
where did that, anyway.
I
So
don't
I'm talking to her because, again, with surrenders, we're starting to kind of push back a little bit. When we first were getting started, any surrender that we're like, yeah,
Sure, we got
when
this
can
fixed.
when can we pick them up? You know,
Yeah.
like we were all
Be there at
excited.
midnight, you know.
And now we're like, yeah,
Yeah.
what's the issue? What have you done?
Mhm.
What are you doing? Anyway, so she's had this dog since it was a puppy. She got it. It sounded like it was a whoopsie litter. Had to have been.
Right, no one did that on
Right,
purpose.
Right.
Good gravy.
In Tennessee, and so she's had this dog since it was like,
It's
12 weeks
traveled
old.
with her across state lines, been
Grown
with
up
her
with this
children.
Yeah, she's probably mid-30s. She's got a couple kids, and this dog's 9 years old. So do the math. And she has a new boyfriend,
Mhm.
and she's pregnant with his baby, and she has these 2 kids. I'm assuming from a prior relationship.
Right.
And the new boyfriend doesn't like the dog.
Like the report was that he was shutting the dog in a spare bedroom
You're right.
because he
And
didn't like it.
She said, I think it's just too much for him. Our family's growing, and I think it's just he's overwhelmed. And I'm like, I asked some more follow-up questions, like, what is she doing? What's her reactions? And they had just moved into an apartment. I'm thinking, okay, 2 kids, a dog, a boyfriend, and you in an apartment. Like,
I didn't hear the apartment part because the
yeah,
house,
I'm like, yeah, I'd be freaking stressed too.
their intake form, the address was like a really nice house.
I don't know.
So
Okay.
maybe they just
So,
picked one out of random.
I literally, and Mom, I'm using that word correctly, asked her, have you considered rehoming your boyfriend? And I said it just like that. I said, because I'm getting red flags. Like,
Yeah.
as a third party.
Feels unsafe.
Third party, independent, onlooker, like, girl,
What
red
you
flag,
doing?
red flag, red flag, red
Yeah.
flag. And she's like, she kind of laughed, and then she's like, yeah, I have, but I'm kind of in a situation here. I'm kind of stuck, and I'm like, okay, well, I can refer you to some Catahoula specific rescues if
Like,
you
how
like. Because I'm
urgent is
still
this?
like,
Right.
you know what? I'm sorry, but your boyfriend's not my problem.
Mm-hmm.
I got enough problems. I don't need that too.
Right.
And then somehow the conversation, she goes, well, I'm kind of on a time crunch because my boyfriend scheduled a euthanasia appointment for her tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock. And I'm like, there's this long pause because there's a million thoughts going through my head,
Mm-hmm.
all of which are not professional.
No. Like,
I'm like, don't let that fall out of your mouth. Don't let that fall out of your mouth.
there are so many times when you answer the bat phone that I'm like, thank dog. She's the one that was talking to him. And the only reason that we entertained this call at all is because it's someone that I know referred her to
Right.
us as help when she heard this situation. So I was like, well, let's help because I
Well,
want to do right by my friend. And,
Exactly. We always, there's those connections. I
Yeah.
think that's what connections are for, right?
right.
And so I
God.
respectfully responded with, after this long pause, I said, you're not gonna let him do that, are you? Like, and she goes, well, I just don't know what else to do. I'm like, surely you're not going to take her to that appointment, right?
Yeah.
I'm being for real.
Yeah.
That's exactly how I said it. Long pause, and I'm like, oh my god,
Yeah.
girl, freaking run,
Yeah.
run.
Yeah. She's
Because what are you gonna do when
She's
this
gonna be on
newborn
Dateline.
baby comes into your house?
she and or baby are going to be on Dateline
It's not.
because he's going to be overwhelmed by that. I promise you.
So, my brother and his wife, Kyle and Carrie, graciously took Willa in at a moment's notice. I mean, it was
Yeah.
next morning,
Yeah.
9 a.m. pickup, and Kyle reported that she was, very upset and, in a responsible manner.
Yeah.
And I believe her mom had come with her to drop the dog off. And
Yeah.
so I think it was a decent human being in a shitty situation.
And she was afraid, and she didn't know what else to do.
And so
Yeah.
we handled it. Now, my brother, so I posted, OMD posted, everybody shared, just
Mhm.
like we do with everything.
Well, and we shared the downright story too. Sometimes we sugarcoat shit to protect people and dogs and things, but this time I was like, no.
No, we
No.
ain't sugarcoat nothing
No.
on that deal.
So we told the exact story of what happened, and it got shared a lot and a lot. and
There were a
quickly.
lot of spicy comments.
Yeah. Well, everybody felt the same way we did. Like, first of all, is she safe? Second of all, what the
Right.
hell?
Right.
Yeah.
So I shared it and I tagged Kyle and Carrie, which friends of Kyle and Carrie seen it, one of his clients, and they're an older couple. They've been looking for an older dog. They didn't want a puppy because in a few years they're anticipating moving to a warmer climate and so on and so forth. So they've been looking for an older dog. This looks like a perfect fit. 9 hours later, Kyle's delivering the dog to them.
Did they even take the dog home?
Well, he took it over to them. They live over in New
Yeah,
York.
but like it never made it to Kyle and Carrie's house. That's how quickly
Oh
this
yeah,
happened.
he took it home.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
She was at their place for all eight and a half
Oh,
hours.
okay. I couldn't remember if they just went straight to the adopter.
Now, ironically, the people that adopted her live just like 2 miles north of Schnauzer Bounce.
Well, they got a little bit of schnauzer in their house now.
So that's a great story. I'm ecstatic that I was
That
worried
was-
that dog was gonna sit for a hot minute.
I was too. I was like, thanks, Kyle and Carrie, but you don't know what you just did because you're gonna be screwed with that dog for however long. But I'll tell you, the number of people that came up to me and said, holy crap, I couldn't believe the intake story, and oh my gosh, I can't believe how quickly she got a home. And that's the power of our network and social media and all the things. It was pretty cool.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah.
That's why we need the followers and the shares, and
Yeah. Sharing is just...
it's a network.
Yeah.
It's family.
If you can't do anything about it, you don't have to comment, but you can, or you can comment and say, hey, I'm going to share this with everyone because this dog needs a home,
Yeah.
you know. The comments of like, oh, I wish I could take her really isn't very helpful.
Yeah.
But the shares really do make a difference, and that's proof of that. So next dog we got in was a bat phone call as well. It was I picked this one up.
Cutest dog ever.
Oh my lord!
I'm glad I never had that dog in my possession.
She came into my house, and I was like, I am in trouble. So I posted her. I was like, somebody get this dog out of here. It was a little.
I'm in danger.
I am in danger. It was a little black and white, long-haired Chihuahua, which I don't want any more Chihuahuas in my life, but this thing, my God. She was really cute, just a puppy. It was a family that had 2 elderly Chihuahuas, thought they wanted to get a third, and then they got like a puppy, which was causing terror in their home, and they were actually very wonderful. They brought all kinds they're like, I'm going to bring food for her, here's puppy pads, like here's all the things that she's going to need, here's her records. She was had all of her vet work done.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we just got her spayed, we wanted to make sure she was set wherever she went, but also we didn't know what to do. And it was within, 8 hours of me talking to them, that actually less, because I was talking to them and I was like, well, I can get her on, Sunday, and they were like, what are you doing tonight? Because she's just eating a bunch of stuff in her house. Like, she was like eating electronics and cords and wires, and they were overwhelmed, and they had gotten themselves into something that they weren't anticipating, and they really did try to make sure she landed in a good place. They were great people. So anyway, we get this dog, and I'm like, shoot, I'm in trouble. And I had just been like scrolling TikTok, and that stupid demure trend, which
I had
is
to look
so.
it up, and I still don't get it.
It's so stupid.
Is this the Kardashian thing?
No.
I was trying to find
There is
the
a
origin
Kardashian
of
one.
this.
No, it's this woman. Well, it's like she's in her car, and it's like a trans woman, and she's like has her makeup on, and she's like, do you see how I'm wearing the same makeup that I wore for the interview. I'm not wearing a green cut crease. I'm being very responsible, very respectful, very demure, very cutesy. And everyone like just used this like stupid
The things that people grew up on.
Yeah, they became obsessed with it, and they used this stupid audio, and then but what was cute was all of these vets offices were like, do you see how this owner brought their dog in before the toenails were overgrown so that we could trim them? Very respectful. Very respectful. Very demure. So it's just like a really off-the-cuff way of saying, like, you idiots, like, here's the right way to do this. So anyway, so that's what we named her, and I was like, I hope this dog gets adopted while people still know what this, like, is even referencing.
About?
And sure enough, she did. She was out really quick.
Oh my, like, same day.
Yeah, first of all, I got a foster immediately. Like, Marissa was like, oh, sold, give me that cute thing for a day, and then it was gone the next day, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah. The next two, these two came through our inbox. They were referred to us by someone. A guy, his dad had been bedbound for a long time, and he had gone into the hospital and was on hospice, and he's like, I think I'm going to need help for my dad's dogs. They weren't super close, and
The dad and the son, or
Yeah.
the dad and the dog?
the dad and the son. The dad and the dogs were
Okay.
very
got it.
close. And so the son, though, was like, I'm having to deal with this with my dad. I don't know what I'm going to do with these dogs. And it was right in the heart of the fair. And I was like, hey, on Tuesday after the fair, shoot me a text again, see what's going on, And I had already said, like, it was a German Shepherd and like a Black Lab, looks like Black Lab Rottweiler mix. She's really pretty, but anyway, these two dogs, and I'm like, sure, I'll take them or whatever. And because I know this is not going to get listened to immediately before the news breaks, the lady comes and she's like, we went to go pick up the dogs, and the bedbound dad's girlfriend, who was like his caregiver also, had agreed to let the dogs go, but when they got there to pick them up, she didn't answer the door. So they heard the dogs in the backyard, so they just opened up. The people that went to go get the dog for us, like it was like his.
Not one of our.
No, none of our
volunteers.
people. None of our people.
Okay.
So it was a family member.
Okay.
Had gone to
I'm
pick.
like, who did we send
Sorry.
on
Okay.
this
It was a crazy
television?
story. Let me try this. So a family member of the guy who was in the hospital had gone to his home, and the guy who's in the hospital's girlfriend didn't answer the door when she said she would to let the dogs out. So the dogs had been in the backyard, and clearly for a while, because they were covered in like burrs and like had not been inside for a while.
Oh, God.
And so they opened up the gate, they got the dogs, threw them in the back of the van, brought them to the house. So she's like, you might want to stand here because if they come out of the back, we're not going to be able to, they're really big. I was like, what? Okay. Little did I know what was going to happen when that van door opened. First of all, nobody jumped anywhere because
They're not big.
I was staring.
They're
I was staring face to face with a 136-pound German Shepherd and a 120-pound lab mix, and that is not an exaggeration. I got the vet records. That is the poundage that was on these records for these dogs.
Now Dallas, I have a German Shepherd.
Yeah. And he's big.
12 years old. He's a big boy.
Yeah.
I mean, and he's got some heft to him.
Yeah.
Purposely.
Yeah.
97 pounds.
Yeah. 136. This thing is massive.
I can't even imagine Dallas with 40 more pounds on it.
Oh, well, it's,
He has enough trouble as it is.
growing up, my dad, we had this dog that kind of had like a flat back. You know?
Oh yeah, a
And-
tabletop.
Yeah, my dad said like he looks like a walking coffee table.
Coffee
You know,
table dog.
this is a walking table setting for 6. You could serve Thanksgiving dinner on this dog's back. Okay.
Oh, God.
Pour a glass of milk. It's not going anywhere. You know. So anyway, they lumber out of the back of this van, and she's like, "Do you want me to help you?" And I'm just like holding the leashes, and the dogs are like, "Oh God." I'm like, "I think I'm good." I walk them back to the backyard. I put them
No
back.
flight risk clear.
No flight. They're not going anywhere. So I go back up, and I'm like, talking to her about the situation. And she goes, "Hey, are you gonna promote these dogs on your Facebook and stuff?" I'm like, well, yeah. She's like, well, if you could not mention that he has passed away, that'd be great because the girlfriend doesn't know, and we're trying to get her out of the house.
The girlfriend doesn't know that he's passed away?
Yeah, she doesn't know he's dead. They just took him to the hospital. She's hanging out in the house, threw the dogs in the backyard. She's locked up in there like Fort Knox, and no one's told her that her boyfriend, her bedbound boyfriend, has died. And I'm like, this is the kind of crap that you absolutely cannot make up. Okay?
You gotta start writing a book, man.
Like, what in the world? So I said, okay. And, that's been several days ago. Surely by now they've told her. But they were trying to get her out of the house because she was, like, squatting.
Oh, my.
They had been paying her to take care of him, as his caregiver. But she was also the girlfriend at one point, and she's just kind of a mooch. And
This is odd.
odd. So I was like, okay. So I just said, Dad's very sick. He was. He wasn't anymore.
He got better.
All dogs go to heaven, I don't know. So anyway, his poor obese dogs, which I have to assume they just opened up a bag of food, left it open, threw the dogs out in the backyard most of the time, and they didn't get any exercise. They just laid out there.
Well, we're going to talk about that a little later
Yeah,
on
so
in
that's-
this episode
yeah.
about overfeeding.
Yeah, actually, it's a teaser for our toy episode. We're going to dive into, fat dogs, what the heck. So anyway, this is what gave us that idea, is these 2 loaves. But we're working on it. Diets have been created for both of them. And once this horrible heat breaks, I'm going to start walking, my dining room table around the neighborhood. So,
Those poor dogs.
yeah, they're really overweight.
It's a bad day not to have a mic, because a really good editor could take your comment about have you considered rehoming your boyfriend and combine it with the story you just said about she doesn't know he's dead.
Put those 2 together.
Yes.
Matchmaker.
So I'll cut that out. I'll cut that
Find
out.
me a
But that
friend.
was
Okay.
Catch me, I catch.
Yeah.
So that's Kaboom and Butterball Lucy.
Butterball Lucy.
Good name.
Yeah. Archie.
Archibald.
Do you remember who Archie is?
That one went to,
I don't remember who Archie is. Hold on. Archie
Was
came in
that
as
Joey?
Dewey. Oh, that's that old silver lab. That's with Ginny.
Ginny.
Another-
Joanna.
Yeah, so Ginny took Archie, who was originally Dewey. Archie is a 10-and-a-half-year-old, almost 11-year-old silver lab.
Also
fat
and
AF.
overweight.
Jeez Louise, he's huge.
She had picked another name too that I liked better than Archie, but she picked Archie.
I know.
There were 2 names.
I don't remember what it was.
Archie's good though.
Yeah. But Archie, also his owner, passed away, and then he had a temporary caregiver. That temporary caregiver, who had taken Archie in to try and help find him a place to go, they had kind of a D-Day timeline because they were moving to Minneapolis, in 2 days or something from now. And so they're like, we need this dog to be gone because we're moving as a family and we're not going to take this dog that we've been like temporarily watching, So anyway, we agreed to take it, and thank goodness that Jenny stepped up to allow him into
She
her
was on a
home.
break. I'm glad she's back.
Yeah, she's
She's
good to
a
have
really
that.
good foster.
She adopted a dog and took a little time to get her settled into their house, and she's probably still settling, but
She adopted that.
Delilah,
Delilah.
who's now Maya, I think. Yeah.
Love it.
So good. So anyway, he's settling in, but way too fat. Joey, also owner, passed away.
What is going on
Yeah.
here?
He is a little Chihuahua mix. Also, what do you want to guess? Fat as hell. Yeah. He's so fat.
He looks like a grumpy old man.
He is.
He's only 5 though.
He's only 5, and he is overweight, but I think
Big old ears.
he'll go on a diet and he'll be the cute. I think he's just adorable. And I like him fat, but I know he shouldn't be, so I suppose we'll diet him.
Some dog I
I don't know. He's really cute. He's like kind of tricolored and Chihuahua-y and whatever. And then, shit show Natasha
know. Yeah, okay.
gave birth to a mini shit show child who
The apple doesn't fall far from the tree on that deal.
no. So her daughter works at like a doggy daycare, I'm pretty sure, but ended up
Yeah, in Ankeny.
in Ankeny.
Tree.
Yes, and she was in a parking lot, and this lady
Casey's.
at Casey's
gas.
getting
Free puppies.
lady was selling puppies, had 2 left, couldn't get rid of them, wanted to go home, so she just gave away the final 2 puppies, which were 2 Aussie Doodle puppies.
Which we've had experience with Aussie Doodles before, and it's a freaking nightmare.
They're not a great mix of dog breeds. But these 2 are very cute and young, and hopefully young enough that they can be trained appropriately by their new families. And one of them has already been adopted, and the other one has a line around the
Meet and
block.
greet
So,
tomorrow.
yeah.
Gives me hope for all these doodles coming up.
Well, as quickly as they went, it makes me feel good because they were black. And so I was like, oh crap, we're going to have these 2 little black dogs. But they're puppies and they're doodles, so it must have superseded the black cloud.
So we had only 8 I say only.
Yeah.
Only 8 intakes.
Yeah,
in
they
the
were
last
nice
2
and
weeks.
spread out though, so it didn't feel so overwhelming.
Yeah, we were kind of on vacation.
Yeah,
We tried.
I feel like it feels like we're on vacation.
Okay. We did adopt out 11, so that's -3. It's pretty good.
Hey.
Hey.
This time it actually is. We checked ourselves.
Kitty Foreman hit the road. That was one of the doodle from the Doodle Dance.
The top 4 are, I think.
Yep.
Mhm.
Pixel, Zuma, and Tango. Yep, those are all 4 out of the 11 that came out of that doodle group.
Yeah.
Ducky.
Ducky was, what was Ducky? He was really cute, I recall. Something that Marissa brought to us.
Oh, that was one of the, ones that I just heard about after it happened. Like, okay. Got it.
Yep, it happened. Yeah, Ducky was like a little.
Oh, the owner and the dog looked white hair and everything. The dog is white. The lady.
Oh my God, they
hair
look
is
exactly
white.
the
They
same.
Look exactly the same.
Yeah, one of those little, like a Maltese Pomapoo or something.
Yep.
Yeah, that was cute. So Ducky went home.
And tell me these 2 don't look alike. Well, Pixel was a foster failure.
Yeah, but they
And
look
look at
alike.
those 2.
Yeah.
And Demure.
Yep.
I mean.
Pretty cute. They're both very demure.
Cute.
Very cute. See?
Love it.
And then Pillsbury, I think, what one is that? That's another one of the ones. Yeah. Pillsbury was a little Shih Tzu puppy.
This one? Or
Yeah.
This one.
I don't know. They look exactly the same. I think
Because
it's,
those 2 look exactly the same.
so the lady already had a Shih Tzu, and she adopted Pillsbury, who was a 6-month-old Shih Tzu. She's already sent us an update photo of both of them riding in a stroller together,
Oh
and
my God,
it's
stop
an
it.
outrage. They are so cute.
River the Spaniel.
Yeah, so that one, did we talk about that? It feels like we did, but maybe not.
Hits the road.
Well,
Well, here's an intake.
yeah, okay, so
Yeah.
River came in, And Morgan, his foster, works part-time at Paws and Pints, and so she took River with her to work, and River met a dog, fell in love with that dog. Then that dog said, hey, you want to meet my dad? And then he went over there, and his dad's like, hey, that's a pretty cool friend you have. And then, oh my gosh, you're homeless? Cool. It was like
You come home with me.
a Disney show. Yeah, it was really nice. So I met him the other night. I said, thank you for adopting. He's like, it's going pretty well so far. But he has 2 dogs now that are the same age, puppies. So he's crazy. But they're doing great. The other one is a golden retriever. So he's got a golden retriever puppy and a Springer Spaniel puppy of the same age, about that 9 months old.
Oh, psycho.
So Morgan, at the same time, fostered Irish Dragon, which I would like to say on record.
Again.
Stupidest
Worst
name ever.
ever.
But Irish Dragon just got adopted tonight.
Yeah. We
So,
just got it on the way here.
yeah.
Got the notice.
Lovely family. We'll post that later on our social media. It'll be out by the time this comes out. But yeah, so cute. A little, who knows? I can't wait to see what it grows up to. I hope they give us an update because I have no idea what breed that dog is. It's just a little red and white, adorable puppy. And then
Super cute.
Willa and Jameer, as we mentioned. And then
Miss
Miss Frizzle, which is one of those Aussie Doodles that went home.
Yep.
So 11 out the door.
Pretty slow 2 weeks for us.
Yep.
I'll take it.
Yeah, no kidding. Who knows what's gonna happen now?
Can you imagine a week, a 2 week span where there's like none?
It's not gonna happen.
Okay.
Well, that's
Set
what
my expectations.
I am going to Mexico for a week, but I'm sure something will
She's
go
not
down while
taking
I'm
me
gone.
with her either, by
Yeah,
the way.
pretty lame. You might as well hop in my suitcase. You fit.
Lame. Did Envy get his passport?
No, so you might be going. You're still on the
I
docket.
am on call.
You're on call.
Yes.
I just asked her the
Yes.
other night. I was like, hey, have you got your passport?
When are you supposed to go?
It's November. We're going in November. It's gonna be September anytime.
I very much am.
Get ready.
Yeah.
Go swimsuit shopping. Yeah. So we're going in November, and I'll be gone for a whole week, which is, I never was gone that long.
Crazy.
I know. So we'll see. If MV gets his passport. If not, Holly and I will
He's
both
gonna
be
have to
gone.
drive up to Minneapolis at this point to get that done.
He's like, oh, they have expedited. I'm like, yeah. Well, you're past needing expedited, you dipstick. Good lord.
That's fine, Envy. Go ahead. Keep delaying. That's
Yeah.
cool.
I don't care. I'll go by myself. I'll be the single one on this couple's trip.
Oh my gosh, we had another huge piece of awesome news.
Yeah, and actually we've been holding it onto it because it came the day after we found out about our Miranda Lambert grant.
Great. You gotta spread out the good news.
Well, and we didn't officially get the big check, if you
That's
will.
true. You don't want to say anything, so you
Yeah, and we didn't get
Certainly we
the
still don't
money.
have anything.
But yeah, we're still waiting on the actual check. But we were invited to visit the Sammons Financial campus because one of their employees and one of our volunteers, Tanya, had nominated us. Thank you, I couldn't say that word. Nominated us to receive one of their grants. And the way they do it is everyone on each floor of that building, if they work together, they all nominate a nonprofit if they want to that means something to them. And then
Right.
Tanya had to make a PowerPoint about Oh My Dog, which I would like to see. We haven't seen it. I don't know if she'll share it, but I gotta see this.
She said she kind of winged it.
Yeah,
She
well,
said
that's what we do.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the best way to do this work. And then the whole floor votes.
Yep.
Or the whole company, I guess.
Yes, they
votes.
and
Then
then
they vote on all of the nominations.
and then they're given a lump sum of amount of money that they have to give out, and then they dole out that money in different amounts.
Right.
So I think we were one of the higher amounts from what I was seeing.
I think Puppy Jake got 10,000.
Yeah,
But
so
we got 7,000.
We got
which is amazing.
$7,000 from Sammons Financial, and they give away millions of dollars a year, which is
Millions of
incredible.
So they're like employee owned, so that's part of why they do it that way. Because
Okay.
it's basically like,
Yeah. Oh,
Sorry, my
we
bad.
lost our lights. Oh my gosh, he's messing with an app, dipping down the lights in here. No romance tonight, Tanner.
So anyway, I mean $7,000, that's huge. That's like,
It's a big deal.
that's, I mean, on average, you take the average of 490 or 450, whatever
Yeah.
you wanna do.
Yeah.
That's 15, 16 dogs. Minimum.
Minimum.
So it's really actually more like 20 or 25.
It's a big deal, and it puts us ahead for when we have those huge emergencies, as we mentioned before, with the Miranda Lambert thing. But it's extra special because we were nominated by someone who has adopted a dog from me in the past, and then has fostered for us as well.
And mom just adopted a dog.
Her mom fostered and adopted a little puppy mill Bichon from us, and they're just really special people. And Tanya's wife and I went to high school together in like the smallest little podunk town ever, so it's just like this little connection that's happened. So that's how I know
Love
them.
that.
Yeah.
And I met Holly, her mom.
Yeah.
So we're both Hollies.
Yes.
I met her for the finalization of her adoption, and she's just
The cutest thing.
nice and sweet.
Yeah, so nice. Jeez, he's really trying to party mode in here.
What color do you want?
Well, not green. This isn't John Deere. There, that's better.
Hilarious.
So anyway, yeah, that was our really big, bad, great, awesome, wonderful
So it
news.
makes me, so we do have a couple, we were just talking about this on the way in, that we have a couple grant application suggestions from Susie in our inbox
Yeah,
that we're going to pursue. So if anybody else has, any listeners, if your company does anything like this, or if you know of any grants or something that we should apply for, please let us know.
yeah.
We're happy to
Yeah.
take a look and see
We
if
don't
we are
have
eligible.
we don't have a lot of time to research it, but if you see something and you're like, you know what, that sounds like Oh My Dog to me,
Right.
we are more than happy to put some effort into applying or whatever. But we've been lucky enough that these last two, we didn't have to do anything.
Right.
We're just a nomination
Which is
situation,
really
so
helpful,
it's
but-
really cool.
You know, we don't want to be lazy.
Yeah,
I'm
we
happy to put the work in.
We could
but
do some work.
That's another volunteer opportunity right there. You know, we've talked about all the different ways to volunteer, you know, fostering, transporting,
Mhm.
raising money,
Mhm.
volunteering at functions and events, which we need to make the announcement about the Madrid Labor Day. There's been a time change. We're now working the Madrid Labor Day beer tent from 2 to 7 p.m. So Sunday, September 1st,
Okay.
2 to 7, OMD will be manning the beer tent at Madrid Labor Day.
Yeah.
And all
So-
of the tips go to Oh My Dog. We'll have merch there and
Mhm.
stickers and tattoos and all kinds of things. So
Yep.
come out and say hello and grab a beer.
This is gonna come out on the 30th of August,
Oh,
so that announcement is timely because it will be that Sunday.
That would have been hilarious if it would have been after.
It's like, hey, come see us. No, not really. So those of you who are actually listening in a timely manner, it'll be in a couple days.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But this, so back to the grants, if you have any availability or interest in filling out applications, you know, with general information,
Mhm.
you can at least do that legwork for us and we can fill in the gaps.
Yeah, let us know what like other documents and info you need, but
Yep.
that would be
That would be
really
super
great.
cool.
Yeah, if you've got a Netflix and chill day in your life, if you have time to watch a movie, you could help us write a grant. We do not, but if you do, that'd be cool. All right, cool. Well, we are bringing a new segment to this podcast, which we are gonna lovingly call the Bat Phone something.
Bat Phone Chronicles.
Bat Phone Chronicles. The Bat Phone Chronicles, there's at least once a week a call, and like I said, I have been answering the phone less and less, and Holly has, needed entertainment here and there, so she's been picking it up, and she has an update for us as to a funny Bat Phone Chronicle that happened.
Well, so it's actually two calls.
Yes.
So the first call, this gal, and we hear the story all the time, and we're gonna, that's kind of what this episode is about. And this gal had called, she said, hey, we brought home our baby 10 months ago, and we've been trying to make it work with this dog. They have a boxer mix, and she's, how old is she, do we know? I don't remember. She's older. I mean,
She's 10.
Not elderly, but older.
Yeah, she's 10.
And the dog's just not having it, and so immediately my brain is like, oh my god, okay, another one of these.
Because we get that call at least once a week.
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time. And it's so annoying. And so I immediately go into my little pitch, so, what is she doing? What are reactions
Yeah.
are you having? And what have you tried?
Mm-hmm.
And she tells me that she's just, anxious. She's actually started to nip at the baby's toes, and the baby's starting to crawl, and they're actually very concerned for the baby's safety.
Mm-hmm.
And they've segregated, and they've crated, and they've baby gated, and then she starts going into this, and the deeper she goes, I'm like, oh my god.
You guys have really
You
been
actually
trying
have tried
everything.
a lot. So they've worked with a vet specialist out of Ankeny. They've worked with medication. She's been on like 10 different medication combos, trying to find the right combination to kind of chill her out a little bit, which is stress. I mean, if you can imagine yourself going through 10 different medication changes in 10 months.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. And they worked with Clint Knox in Des Moines, our recommended trainer on training. They've even gone so far as to work with a specialty trainer out of Colorado.
Jeez.
That looked at all the vet records and looked at the medication and all of this stuff. It was above and beyond.
Yes. And I'd like
trying to make this work.
Interject to say that not only is one of the parents trying, we actually received an email that was very detailed with great photos and all sorts of things from her husband about a month ago asking for help. So they are, as a team, working together to just exhaust their resources. So I responded and said, yeah, we've talked to your husband. After I received the information, I told Holly, I'm like, I'm just going to hop in here and let her know that I do already have this info and that we did already post it in the Mafia. And she's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. We're just trying everything we can because we're at the end of our rope and we really don't want anything bad to happen. They're just trying their best for their family,
Definitely. And when we were hopping off the call, she said, I really appreciate it, because I told her, I said, we'll post it in the foster group, we'll see if anybody's available. But with your requirements, no small children and no other pets, because the dog has shown aggression to other dogs, no matter their size, and anything. So I said, this is really hard placement, because 95% of our volunteers have resident dogs.
99% probably,
So anyway, what we ended up doing is posting the dog on our Pet Finder account as a courtesy post. So in the show notes, Kara, if you would maybe put that link.
Yeah.
And all of our listeners could
share
blast this. That might get it done.
That'd be really great. I would love for this this post about, and so the dog's name is Annie, and I have seen Annie.
She's a beautiful
dog. Looks like it's just a really great, loving member of the family, but just not this one.
I think she said she's about 45, 50 pounds. 48 was that?
Really cute. She looks like Red Dog. She's got that kind of red tone. But yeah, I'll post in the show notes, and then we'll post in tandem with this show her Pet Finder profile. So when we say courtesy post on Pet Finder, we do not do this lightly, because in order to post on Pet Finder, you have to be a registered rescue, and it's actually kind of hard to get on Pet Finder. We kind of had to jump through a lot of hoops and to maintain it and do all the things. So if you come to us and say, I need help rehoming my dog, but we don't have a foster, we're most likely not going to offer that courtesy post unless it's something that we believe in you and your efforts of what you've done. Because a courtesy post is not us rehoming your dog. It's just us putting our name out there for you to rehome your dog on your own.
Right.
We're not taking any responsibility of the dog or its care or anything, because we don't have a place to put it.
We're essentially vouching for you.
Right. And very rarely do we come across somebody who's rehoming a dog that we feel that way about.
Right.
But Annie's people are really doing their best, and I really want to find her a good home. So we're going to try really hard to make that happen, even though we don't have a foster home that's a good fit for her. I think there's a good home for her out there.
Yeah. So let's roll Mafia. Let's get this Annie somewhere safe.
Yeah, soon.
And so the baby, because they're concerned with the baby starting to crawl.
Yeah, which makes
sense. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
So, same day.
In direct contrast.
A few hours later.
Exactly right.
I got another call on the bat phone. Same situation, but a little different. These people had a baby like 2 weeks ago, have tried absolutely nothing, and just want somebody to come get this dog right now.
No. I'm
No,
sorry.
I'm not doing it.
Your inability to prepare does not equate an emergency on our behalf.
100%.
Yeah.
And so I talked to them about things that they could do, things that they should try.
All the things
Have you
Annie's
talked to your-
parents did.
Exactly. Talk to your vet. Have you tried medication? Did you, do the things to introduce the dog to the baby ahead of time? Any preparation for any of this at all? No. They have no interest in pursuing that. They didn't want a vet recommendation. They didn't want medication,
No trainer, nothing.
Nothing. And they just wanted somebody to take this dog and be done with it. And I said, I'm sorry, we're full. If you send me some pictures, I'll post it in our group, but that's the best I can do for you.
Yep. And
It sounds, when the priority is the dog, it sounds a little, I don't know what the right word is, I guess, but I'm going to match your effort.
yeah.
I will match your effort. If you're trying, I will try. I will try alongside you.
We have finite resources,
But
so
yeah,
for us
I'm
to
not
give,
a dumping ground.
yeah,
We
For us-
are not a dumping ground.
no, for us to give our resources and our very limited time to someone who has tried not at all, for two commitments that they have chosen to make.
Right.
You chose to have this baby, and you chose to previously have this dog, and you chose to not plan for either freaking one of them. I'd be surprised if that baby had clothes when he got home, They just weren't ready. And
Yeah.
okay, but now you gotta deal with that. That's not somebody else's problem now.
And me, us, OMD, the mafia, our volunteers, all, that's the whole thing. All of us taking that on for you to relieve you of your inconvenience is
Mhm.
putting another dog that's sitting in a shelter on a euthanasia list out.
Yeah.
So it's like, no, I'm not going to do it.
No.
Which brings us to the remainder of this episode.
Yeah, we'd like to talk about, what you can do when you find out that you're expecting, as we call it at the dog park, a skin puppy.
Oh my god. No, you did not.
Yep. Tuesday nights are family night at Paws and Pints. And typically the
Noted.
typically the regulars, those of us who have our own couch and crap, we do not attend on Tuesday nights because we call that skin puppy night.
Oh my
And it's truly a
God.
problem. They're awful.
No shit.
Yeah, it's really problematic. But anyway, when you want to have your own bundle of joy without fur.
And so we're talking about prepping for this episode. It's like, what's the problem that we're seeing consistently over and over
Every
and over
week.
again? And it's all the time. We just had a baby and the dog doesn't like the baby. Well,
What'd you do to get ready
all
for
right,
this?
let's educate.
So you have a baby shower, you get the diapers, you do all the things, but look around your house and look around your current family. Is there a dog in it? You probably need to do some additional prep,
Right.
right?
So if you know somebody, if you have a friend that's pregnant and they're having a baby shower, we have some suggestions for you.
Yes. So, we'll talk through, we looked up some things, and a lot of it's common sense, but honestly, I understand the whirlwind of finding out you're going to have a baby, preparing for that baby, all of the things. You might not have thought about this. So hopefully you can all spread the word to your friends who have dogs at home, but maybe haven't brought a baby home before,
Yeah.
what to expect when you're expecting to bring home a baby to your dog.
Excellent, excellent. So start early. So basically, when you pee on the stick and figure it out,
That's
that's
what I
when
was
you
gonna
need to
say to you.
start. We are the same person.
Have you peed on?
Just
a
go
clear
ahead
Louise?
and give the pregnancy test to your dog. Show your dog that you're pregnant. Your dog needs to be included
Yeah.
in the
Have conversations.
announcement.
And also, why aren't they in your pregnancy announcement? Get them in there.
Exactly.
Yep.
Bring your husband in like he did something here.
The dog's probably going to do a lot more work. Just,
Clean up for sure.
yeah. Don't leave any diapers out once the baby does come home, I'll tell you that. So, anyway, so start early. The moment that you know that there's a baby coming, I've talked about positive reinforcement training. We can positively reinforce the fact that this dog's world is going to change without actually bringing the baby into the household.
Right.
So some of those things that you can do are, I've seen videos of people doing this. They'll get an actual fake baby doll,
Mm-hmm.
wrap it up, and go about a day as though a baby is there, so you're paying more attention to this baby doll than you are your dog. Because previously that dog may have been your baby, that may have been your child, they've got all your attention, right? So now there's this new thing that is taking your attention, and it needs to be a priority. So then when the dog starts not reacting to the baby, like they go lay down when you're doing the fake baby. I know this sounds crazy, but it really is a big deal to like make this fake item more.
Baby sounds crazy.
Well, it is. Make this baby, this little bundle of joy, a higher priority than your dog. When your dog settles down and lays down and ignores the fact that you're being a crazy person with this baby doll, put the baby down, treat. We want to have huge reward happening when that's happening, when they're being appropriate. If they're jumping up and down trying to eat the baby toy or do whatever, no reaction. We're not doing that.
Don't engage.
Do not engage.
Right.
Continue on.
Play baby noises. This is all Google research. I have zero experience with this. I assume it would be the same as like your second child, bringing home your second child. I assume it's a lot of the same prep.
Don't ask me. I never was dumb enough to do that.
Twice.
Yeah.
Okay. So play baby noises. So you can, like you
A
do
crying
over
baby.
phone
Yeah.
noises, playing
Mhm.
crying, and crying, screaming.
Mhm.
So they can and don't do torture
Yeah.
to them. Like don't lock them in a room and just play it on repeat for 12 hours.
But you
introduce
do
it
want
nicely,
to,
get them used
desensitize them to that noise.
because you can't make the baby stop screaming.
No.
I mean, there's situations where
Well,
you can't get them to calm down.
And
so.
sometimes the dog may be hearing the baby screaming for the first time, and then the dog gets upset because the baby's screaming, and then the dog starts barking. And the only time that I've ever seen a breed of dog who does not bark when they're upset was a specific breed of dog called a hush puppy. But other than that,
you snuck it in there. You got it in there. You even got me on that one. And you told me it was coming.
But yeah,
That's
get
funny.
the dog used to that, because a lot of times, like our house, like if the door opens, everybody barks.
Yeah. Oh,
So you
yeah.
should desensitize to that. I should desensitize to that. My house gets very
I
annoying.
love it when I walk in. Everybody's so happy to see me.
Yes.
So when you're in the hospital, like I think they're in the hospital like 2 or 3 days, right?
Yeah. At
So-
least a day where you can bring home a blankie.
Yeah, so send a blanket home with a friend or your husband or your mom or whoever. Send that blanket home with the baby smell on it.
Yep.
And the hospital smells on it. And let the dog smell it and, just throw it on the couch and let them figure it out.
Mhm.
So when you bring the actual baby home, it's not this brand new smell that they just
Mm-hmm.
are trying to figure out statically.
Yeah. And all of the things that you're going to need for the baby, because babies come with a lot of paraphernalia these days. I mean, when I brought my baby
It's
home,
a
I
whole
had
thing.
like a crib and some diapers and like nothing. I don't know. Like that's all I had. When I was in the hospital, they said like, do you want counseling for XYZ? And I'm like, I am 19 years old. I would like counseling for everything. I have no idea what I'm doing.
Check.
Please, all of it.
Yes.
And so the doctor comes in and he sits down. He goes, "Do you know what you need to make, your baby, what your baby needs when you get home?"
No.
And I was like, "I don't know." And he's like, "List off what you're going to need when you get home." And so, Cam's dad is like, "Well, food, place for the baby to sleep, diapers," and he was like, he goes, "Food." I was like, "What?" And he's like, "Food and like maybe something to keep it warm, and that's it. The diapers are for your convenience." I was like, "Oh, well, I don't even know what's happening here, but okay." But anyway, nowadays, you've got everything. You've got like a computerized bassinets that tell you like what your baby is gonna go to college for, and like it's stupid. There's so much
There's
stuff.
like a crystal ball bassinet.
Yeah. Little booties to tell you like, are they awake and
the owl
breathing
thing
and all
that
the
they put
things.
on their
Like,
feet.
oh my gosh. I was just thankful if the baby was sleeping, I don't know.
Oh my Lanza.
But all of that crap makes noises, looks different, changes the layout of your home, and that all is changed for your dog. So
Right.
make sure that that's happening well in advance of when
Yeah.
that baby might come home, and that they're okay with all of those things.
Don't lock your dog out of the nursery.
Yeah.
Let them go in there. Let them see it and
Yeah.
smell it and hear it and be around it and get comfortable in it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and what are you so worried about? Any like dandruff? Or what are they worried about? But like dog hair getting on it or what? Because like that's.
I don't know. My dog probably like jumped in and slept with my kid. I have no
Isn't
idea.
that better? So then they not get allergic to it?
Well, that's what they do say, that like, some kids will be inherently have allergies, and it is what it is. But raising a child with a dog and having that like dander present in the
Right.
home prevents allergies from arising later in life,
Yeah.
supposedly. Like there's been some studies about
I
that.
could get on board with that.
Yeah.
So let dog see, smell, interact with. Yep. Okay. Dedicate time to the dog. So this dog is still part of your family.
Mm-hmm.
Equal part of your family. Like I get a human baby and a dog, you might not see that as equal, but it definitely is equal. It should be equal. So dedicate time to the dog. Try to keep its schedule normal too. Like if you always go for a walk after supper, try to
Somebody
continue
take
to
it
do
for a walk,
that.
yeah.
And that's a great time for somebody to go take a break from baby.
Yep. Yep.
Like mom needs to maybe get out of the house and go
Yep.
for a walk. Great time to spend some one-on-one time with your dog. Dedicate some playtime, some interactive treat time,
And if-
snuggle time.
You bring home a baby that does require, additional care, or you're unable to do that. Plan for family members when they say, "What can I do?
This is what you
Come
can do.
walk my freaking dog,
Come walk
please."
my dog. Take my dog to the dog park. Take my dog for ice cream. If my friend had a baby and they asked me to come take their dog,
I'd be like, "Yep."
I will see you in 5 minutes. I will see you
Exactly.
in 5 minutes. You want me to watch your baby
No.
while you go take a shower? That's maybe not a good choice on your part.
Yeah,
to elect me to do that.
I am very busy doing something. I don't know what, but it's
I have
not
an
that.
appointment to slam my fingers in a truck door.
Exactly. Yeah.
Can't
Yep.
miss it. I've already
Absolutely
rescheduled twice.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
This is always a good thing, not just when you bring a baby home, but definitely in that instance, is make sure you have your dog trained on some basic commands so you can maintain control over the dog. So whether it's sit, stay,
Go to
come
place is
here,
a huge one.
kennel up,
Mhm.
whatever it is.
Yep.
So in a situation where maybe the baby's having a tantrum, screaming, crying, can't get a grip, and the mailman shows up and pounds on your door, and the dog's going berserk, and you're losing your ever-loving mind, at least you still have control over the dog,
Yep.
and you can get it kenneled or get it to sit and stay. So if you don't have that control over your dog, with or without a baby, find some training, find a trainer. We recommend Clint Knox in Des Moines.
Yep. There's all kinds though, all over in the area.
Mississauga and Boone.
Yep. And
Get a grip on your dog.
you can do a dog training class that is over the course of like 6 or 8 weeks. If you do that fairly early on, like, or even send your spouse to go through the training course, if you don't have that grip on like what your dog's obedience needs to be, you've got time. I know it feels really quick, 9 months, but that's 40 weeks. You've got time if you schedule it out to
Yeah.
get your dog ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think what we're asking for here is just some loyalty and dedication to an equal part of the family.
Yeah.
And I know that a dog in my life means more than a dog means to other people. I get that.
Yeah.
I understand that. But they're still part of your family. You still made a choice to bring them into your family, and that's
Mhm.
a lifelong decision. Just like a baby is.
Yep.
And I think in this day and age, and this generation that's coming up, it feels like dogs are more disposable, and it's
Something.
really starting to piss me off.
Yeah, I don't
So-
know what the deal is, but I cannot imagine like that being my answer.
I told you earlier, I cannot imagine a scenario, my life would have to implode
Yeah.
for me to have to find and rehome my dog.
Yeah. And we talked about it. There's definitely situations and scenarios where like that comes up and it's a real thing, but like when it's something like this that you know is coming,
Yeah.
it's not like you just went to work one day and then came home and then a baby shot out. Like,
Right.
you knew it was coming. You knew what your lifestyle was. You knew what was living in your home. Like, spend a little bit
Plan
of time
accordingly.
planning. Yeah.
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 And that's a big part of it too. You need to prep yourself.
Mhm.
Because the world doesn't stop turning just because you had a baby.
Nope.
Okay, so prep yourself that
You're gonna
a
have
dog
moments of
is going
stress.
to react.
Yep.
No, you know, you could do all the training in the world and you bring that baby home and the dog is still going to have a reaction to it.
Mhm.
And the more you do ahead of time, the more positive that reaction is going to be and the more
Less
contained-
overwhelmed you'll feel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You'll feel prepared and feel like you've done due diligence here. But
For sure.
prepare yourself and prepare your spouse and prepare the rest of your family.
Yeah. I don't know if you've ever met anybody who never had a dog growing up.
No.
They suck.
I
Like every human being who is like raised without a dog.
that is so foreign to me, that concept is
It's a thing though. So just know that. Like it's character building for your children to be raised with a family dog. And if you already have a dog, you know the importance of why you got that dog. You understand that you wanted it to be a part of your family. So why would you not want your child to be raised with that empathy
excellent
of
point.
taking care of another creature? And
Excellent.
eventually that dog is going to be your child's companion if
Yeah.
you do this right. So prepare for that. Nurture that idea.
Bring them up together, because if you think it's gonna get any easier when they're 2 or 3 or 5 or
Mm-mm.
10 or 12 or, you know,
No.
integrate it into your life early so it can be part of your life long term.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Not last but not least, but getting there. Plan boarding for a break if you need it. So this is if you don't have family around, if you don't have any friends. You know, there's a lot of boarding facilities.
Well, and what you can do
So-
is, a lot of times with boarding, you have to go through a temperament test with your dog to make sure that they'll be accepted into that boarding facility. So do that early. Get them approved to go
Yeah.
there.
That I think that's probably more so in a metropolis. I know, like Ledge's dog farm, they don't.
You just drop the dog off and they're like, let's go,
I
buddy.
mean, as long as you're up to date on your shopping, they're pretty accepting of.
Yeah.
anybody, as long as you're
Well,
not-
do whatever you need to
as
do
long
to
as
get
they're not
yourself
like
a spot.
Velociraptor or something like that.
Well,
Dog walkers, so I see this on all of the community sites all the time on Facebook, like, you know, Susie Q's walking dogs for $10 an hour or
Yeah.
something like that.
yeah. I know you
Your
got
dog
20
will be
bucks
fine.
from grandma in your baby shower card, and you might just spend that on having somebody walk your dog for the first couple days when you bring the baby home.
Which, speaking of, again, if your friend is having a baby, this is a great gift.
Just say, hey,
A
I'm gonna
gift
come
card.
over once a week for the first month to walk your dog.
Okay.
Whatever.
Or a gift card to a boarding facility.
Beautiful.
Love that idea. Dog parks. Call on your friends and family to take your dog to dog parks, or
Yep.
again, out to ice cream or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
And last but not least, a reminder that baby gates work for dogs too.
Yes.
They are not baby specific.
Everybody doesn't have to all live in a pile of happiness. You can have separation and still have a happy household.
Mhm.
Sometimes you need time when, you know, the baby is upset and you need to put the dog behind the gate. If the dog is feeling a little bit anxious because the baby is upset, the dog goes behind the gate. If it's feeding time for baby and the dog is super obsessed with what's in the bottle because it smells like shit and so dogs like that, dog goes behind the gate during feeding time. Whatever you need to do,
Yeah.
do it. Separate your home. It's not hard. A
I
baby gate.
wonder if dogs are, would they drink formula?
Oh yeah, it smells awful.
It does smell awful.
It's sick. They would love it.
I know, like, if you leave it too long, it gets really bad.
Like 20 minutes. It's like
Oh, really?
nasty.
Oh, God.
Longer than that. When Cam was little, one time I left a bottle in the car overnight in the hotness.
No.
I almost passed away
Ugh.
when I had to take it out of there. And the whole thing went to trash, obviously, but like it was rancid. But yeah, formula in particular is one of the most disgusting smells I have ever. Especially when it comes back up out of the baby.
Oh, that's enough of that.
Well, dogs love that shit, so you gotta keep them away from all that. We had a dog that we took in. We had a dog that we took in one time, And they said, well, he likes to get into like the garbage and stuff. This dog crapped out baby wipes for a solid week. Yeah, Doug. He did. Straight baby wipes. Nothing else.
Doug, that boxer?
Baby wipe. Straight baby wipe poop.
Oh my god.
He puked up a baby wipe when they brought him to me in the flat tire parking lot. I was like, what is that? And he's like, oh, probably a baby wipe. I'm like, what? I thought that was crazy. And then they reported at the foster home that he'd been shitting baby wipes for a week.
Oh my god.
Get a diaper genie, people.
He misunderstood the purpose of the wipes.
Yeah.
After, not
Well, the
during.
family obviously was not putting them in the garbage. Like, or if they
Isn't
were,
there a thing for that now?
a diaper genie. Yeah, you
That's
put it in
it.
the thing and it. I have a diaper genie for my cat litter. Cat litter genie. That's what it's called.
I've seen those.
Yeah, I got that.
I think my mom wants one of those.
Yeah, litter.
Does it work?
Cheap, yeah. It works great.
Really?
Yeah, you don't smell it at all. You put it in there and you pull the thing and it goes down and it seals it off every time you put a turd in there. And then when it's full, you open it up and it's a bag. Just
Oh,
twist it off,
right.
pull it out, throw it away, starts again. It's like a continuous garbage bag feed that like seals
How
off
did
the
you train
smell.
the cats to do this?
No. You do it. I mean, you dump
No.
the diaper.
I
The
didn't.
diaper genie. The cats don't do anything. What do you mean? The cats don't are trained to do anything. Cats don't know anything.
I mean, it wasn't. I mean, it's obviously different than just a litter box, like a normal litter box.
No, it's separate from the litter box. It's quite literally like just a garbage where when you scoop the litter,
Yeah.
you put it in the
Oh.
litter genie. The cats aren't involved. You're talking
Well,
about,
the cats are involved at some
Well,
point in
they make the poop.
process.
but you're talking about those automatic litter
Yeah.
rotating things.
Nikki Levy has one of those.
Yes, and Free, one of our fosters, they have one.
She
It's
said it works great.
yeah, they love it. It looks like a spaceship.
But that's what I'm worried about, is the cats like being like, I ain't shit in there.
I don't think mine would. They like to watch me slave away, dumping their turds into the litter genie, which is a human thing I have to do.
I can't. Yeah. You know what we say about cats.
Yeah, well, I have 2 cats and that's it.
I know you're right.
After this.
That's as close as it's getting.
Yeah. Well, you know the story of MB. When we met and decided we had met previously and then rekindled after he got back from his AT and we decided we were going to move in together. And he's like, well, I'd like to go back to the house before we move into our new duplex and get my cats. And I was like, cats?
Plural?
Plural?
Oh shit.
What do you mean? And I had 2 dogs and a cat already. And he's like, yeah, my cats are, out at the farmhouse. He was living with this sugar mama lady. That's a whole nother story. But anyway,
Oh.
the cats were living there. And he's like, but if I'm going to leave and, we're going to move in together and, he hadn't been living there, but his cats were still there. He's like, I want to go back and get them. I was like, okay. We get out there. He had 6 cats.
No.
Yes.
Stop.
Yes, he had 6 cats. And so we got them all. And
Red flag, red flag, red flag.
well, it ended up being a green flag because he didn't, after that, he's like, whatever, I once lived with 6 cats. So we go out there. We're really digressing. This is kind of a funny story. So we go out there and we collect all 6 cats. Meanwhile, I had a little baby. Cam was not even walking yet. She was 1 when we moved in together. I had my 2 dogs and my cat. I had moved out of the house I was living in the previous life I had been living in it, and we moved into these duplexes. And life was rough. I was a 19-year-old mom, and I had nothing, and so they were low-income duplexes. I could have my 2 dogs. My cat was already illegal, okay? So we moved. So, listen, it gets so much stupider. So we go and get these cats.
I'm not sure it can.
Yes, it can. Yes, it can. So we go get these cats, and I'm like, they can come to the duplex for overnight, and then we've got to start getting to work on finding them new homes, because we can't have 7 cats, 2 dogs, a baby, and us living in a tiny low-income duplex in Forest City, Iowa. Okay, so we go to bed that night, and I wake up and I put all 6 of his cats, because I didn't want them integrating with my life. I didn't know what I put him in our laundry room with like a single litter box in there.
Oh, Jesus.
But it was just overnight, I had nothing else, like it was what it was, and then I had already like been on Facebook trying to find homes, whatever. So I wake up the next morning, on my door I hear this knocking, and I open the door, and it's my duplex neighbor, and she's like, hey, I'm like, hey, and she goes, how many cats do you have? I said, well, at the moment, too many, and she goes, they're in my apartment.
What?
So the duplex butted up at the laundry room. They had knocked down the exhaust thing that went out of the dryer, climbed through the wall into her apartment, and there were 6 cats running feral in her apartment. She woke up.
Can you imagine being that lady?
She woke up.
Such a fucking cat.
She woke up with 6 cats. Yeah. So I was mortified.
You've had a cat waking up with a cat in your face.
Oh,
like,
and they weren't just regular cats. They were like Maine Coon, long hair, huge. Like, I don't even know how they got through the wall. They were huge.
Oh my god.
So,
We're never rescuing cats.
No, that was it for me on the cat rescue. So, we went over to her duplex.
How many cats do you have?
I like just went white, So we went over there, rescued all the cats back out of her duplex, brought them back to ours, and immediately I started just calling anyone who I could.
How long did you live there?
Maybe like 6 or 8 months. Yeah.
Did you ever talk to her again?
No.
Was it awkward?
Never again. I never.
I bet she avoided you like the plague.
Like, what is wrong with this lady?
Crazy cat.
So I ended up letting him keep one cat who was named Blondie. It was this big orange dum-dum of a cat. And so we kept his one cat, so we had 2 cats, 2 dogs, and then we were preparing to move, and we ended up moving back down to Des Moines not long after that. We moved to Des Moines, and that cat lived in the apartment, and of all those cats that he like loved, he got to keep the one he like really wanted to keep. Me, like making limitations on number of animals, But, and then we bought our house shortly thereafter, so this is probably like a time span of like 3 years. We bought our house, and it was like the end of June. 4th of July comes along, the door opens, a firework goes off, that cat goes running out the door, and we never saw him again. He ran away.
Oh, Jesus.
I know. So anyway, I'm the asshole in that situation, but I'll never forget that, like waking up and she's like, how many cats do you have? And I'm like,
Well, 6 less than I did last night.
I tell you, it was, yeah, so I don't even know how we got there, but that's a funny story.
Do you remember that show, Early Edition?
The like news channels?
Yeah,
Or, yeah.
Do you remember the cat in that? I was walking out of work the other night and late, like 11:30, dark ass parking lot, nobody around, no cars, no nothing. And there's just this orange cat sitting in the middle of the parking lot. And I'm like,
Getting ready to tell you what's going to happen in the future?
okay,
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna go home now. Had enough.
Didn't tell you what the lottery numbers were or anything at all.
No,
Lame.
nothing. Alright.
One last thing.
Oh yes, definitely. This is most important.
It is. I can't believe I wasted so much time on that cat story, but.
For a dog rescue, we have talked about cats a lot. But I want to talk about our featured fosterers, plural, Mike and Linda Hilty.
Yay.
They're
Sweetest.
the perfect duo. They are from Altoona. I actually used to work with Mike in my previous life, and he was like one of the developer guys.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, Mike, I don't know what you actually did.
He typed a lot of ones and zeros.
But
Is that
he
what
was
you're saying?
very important. I remember that. He was very important, very critical. But he was always the, he was the fun guy. Like, go out for lunch or
Yeah.
with the group and.
Well, he's just got the best personality.
Happy hour, yeah.
So funny. Yeah.
But anyway, he started fostering. They started fostering with us. Gosh.
I should look this up. But I should say that his counterpart and wife, Linda,
She's
hilarious, sweet, and has the biggest heart. She is always treating, if there's a foster in their home, I know that that dog is getting treated like royalty from the moment it arrives until the moment it leaves. Like, I'll go in there to like check in or whatever and drop something off, and she'll tell me the whole, like, every night at 6 o'clock we have popcorn together and we watch a movie and this dog likes to sleep on this blanket, and they take all the dogs camping with them. They have several
Yeah.
little Yorkies that are just darling.
They go up over by Tama, I think like every weekend.
Yeah, they
A
go
long
camping
weekend.
a lot. So your excuse of not wanting to foster because you like do things on the weekends, these guys take their fosters and their regular dogs with them camping, and they have a little fence, the whole situation. It works out just fine. They've got a system.
Yeah, they started with us in May of 2023 with Whiskey. It was a Schnauzer mix, remember that?
Yeah, and he went to that nice older lady, I think. Yeah.
Diane.
Mhm.
My filter's not working, but they have got us out of a couple situations. They took Christine,
Yes.
Yorkie.
Christine was this like little itsy bitsy crispy crusty, just how I like it Yorkie.
They
Yeah.
took in Snooky, which was one of the Schnauzer Bounce.
And then they also took Dora the Explorer after the big rescue that we talked about last main
Because he
episode.
tackled that dog.
Yep.
And then most recently they took in Sissy, which was the older toy poodle that went to the older toy adopter.
Yes. Yes, yes. Who we talked about like 6 times because I can't get my life together. But yeah, so they always seem to pop up right when we need them, and the dog that they end up helping us with needs them exactly in the same way.
Yeah.
You know, like Sissy was such a hot mess, scared everything, and Linda really did take her in as her own and was like, yeah, I will do everything I can to make this dog comfortable and understand the world and learn how to potty outside and do all the things. And they just go all in, and they are the most loving, caring little dog people I have ever met.
I never worry about a dog like her. Honestly, I was a bit surprised when Mike wanted to start fostering with us because I guess I just didn't picture him as that kind of, the nerdy tech guy.
Yeah.
Back, in the back, they're in a whole little dungeon. I mean,
Yeah.
it's barely lit. Like, you know how it is.
Yes, yep, I grew up in that world. I know.
But we get these pictures, and they've got like the couch, and there's blankets all laid out, and all their little dogs are all in between them and on their laps, and it's adorable.
It's their life,
The
and
Christmas tree, it's the whole thing.
yeah. They're the best crazy Yorkie people ever. I just love going over there because the dogs all lose their minds for a little while, and then finally they're like, oh, okay, well, Mom and Dad said you're cool, so hey, how's it going? They're so
And
cute.
they also popped over when we were looking for, what was that Courtney had, she adopted out and he ran away.
Oh, Gonzo.
Gonzo, thank you.
Yeah.
They popped over.
And he
'cause
was
they were-
named
that was
Gonzo
in the
before he went Gonzo, by the way. Like, we didn't even change his name like Dora.
Because they were in the Altoona area. But anyway, I know we can always count on them, if we're in a bind, they're happy to help out, and I'll be looking forward to winter when camping season is over and they can
They're ready for another little crusty thing.
come back full swing.
Yeah.
But that's the joy of fostering. We know
Take
that there's
breaks when you need
seasons of
'em.
life, and
Yep.
summer is busier for others and slower for some, and
Yeah.
vice versa with winter. So
Yeah. Well,
I
again, every time a dog lands there, I'm like, oh, phew, okay, cool. They're good. Like, no worries, they're gonna
Yeah.
be fine.
no concerns at all.
Yeah. So it's nice to have folks like that in our roster. So
Thank you, Mike and Linda, for being here and being part of it and doing all the dog tackling and tracking and the crusty old decrepit.
I wish nothing more than if someone had had a camera videotaping that whole
Oh my
situation on
God.
that hill by that interstate when he tackled that dog.
I don't think there's anybody else that could have done it, honestly.
We wouldn't have gotten him.
No.
If either one of us got hands on that dog, we would. I told you in that.
It was actually.
I'll never let go. I know, it was great. So anyway, we're uber lucky, and hopefully this episode gave you some fuel for conversation when, family members or friends are expecting, and we think that's a really important message, because I would say that's the most common reason that people are giving up dogs.
Yeah.
Probably.
So when you see somebody that's made an announcement, and then you see them in the grocery store or whatever.
Hey, what have you done to prep Fido?
Right.
Yeah.
So how is Fido adjusting to the,
Yeah. Have you been planning?
the new things? And then
Yeah.
when they say, well, what do you mean? You say, well, here's the link to the podcast, and just send it to them.
Yeah. So, anyway, that's all we know.
Education, that's all we can do. I mean, that's a problem that we see a lot, and the only way to make it better is to educate.
And keep talking about it.
Keep
I mean,
talking
I
about
feel like a lot of times in rescue, all we do is try to victimize people and say what you're doing wrong, but I think talking about what you can do to avoid a situation that is not ideal is better.
Yeah.
So.
And that's, this is a nice platform for those sort of situations, so we're not just constantly responding to, quote, emergencies,
Right.
unquote, or inconveniences, rather, that we are trying to be proactive and
Mm-hmm.
trying to say, hey, do me a favor and, do this ahead of time, so I don't have to talk to you 9.5 months from now when
Oh my dog. Dog. Oh my dog. Dog. Oh my dog.
What I mean when I see, what I see, what I feel, when I dream, when I be, I'm a freak, what up? Oh, what up? Everybody look at me when I'm free, when I feel what I see, when I do it, I'm a freak, what up?